Exclusively on the OysterLink Podcast, the fastest growing hospitality platform in the US, meet executive chef Joseph VanWagner. From humble beginnings in rural Michigan to becoming a James Beard Semi-Finalist, in just 1 year, his restaurant, Echelon Kitchen and Bar in Ann Arbor, was nominated as one of the best new restaurants in the country. Hello everyone and welcome to the OysterLink Podcast, the fastest growing hospitality job platform in the US. Chef Joe, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure.
So to start, could you please introduce yourself, tell us a bit about your career path?
Absolutely. My name is Joe VanWagner. I'm the chef partner here at Echelon Kitchen and Bar in Ann Arbor, Michigan. My career path did not start in a way that I thought I would end up in a kitchen. I grew up in southwest part of Michigan, which is very rural. They call it the fruit belt here in Michigan. So I was very connected with farming, hunting, fishing. Ended up going to college, and I thought I was going to be a professional soccer player. And I very quickly learned that that was not going to be the case. So I studied hospitality business. I got a degree in hospitality business from Michigan State University, and ended up my first real job out of college was a service management position at a Michelin 2-star restaurant in Chicago, and I had no clue what Michelin stars were or what fine dining experiences were all about. So I was quickly thrust into that lifestyle, and I begged the chef to let me work for him almost on a daily basis, and he assured me daily that I was a silly, inexperienced American boy and that I wouldn't end in his kitchen. And sure enough, one day I came to work and he said, "You're on garde manger today," and the rest is kind of history.
Amazing. This brings a million questions, by the way. And let me first, before I jump to my questions, then what happened next?
So
Yeah,
what
this
happened
is
next, I was so fortunate. Obviously, my first job in the kitchen was at an exceptional kitchen, and this was a very exciting time for food in Chicago. So I got to stage, which is essentially working for free at the time to gain experience. It was very common when I was young and coming up. I got to stage all over Chicago because it was so commonplace at Michelin 3, 2, 1 stars, really celebrated restaurants with incredible chefs. So I feel like I was kind of in the right place at the right time. I made my way around Chicago, spent some years doing that, was very fortunate. I ended up coming back home for a bit to Michigan, and from there I would go on to travel and cook in Paris, in Stockholm, in New York City. I worked off a little island off the coast of Washington State. So I made the rounds and worked basically at all the best places that would have me.
And what about today?
And today, so yeah, I am currently sitting in Echelon Kitchen and Bar, where I'm the chef partner. We opened our doors 1 year and 12 days ago. It's been an amazing ride. We call ourselves a wood-fired, vegetable-forward restaurant. We really try to be Michigan first, which means we look to Michigan for all of our products first. That doesn't mean we don't have scallops or octopus or things like that on the menu, but it means we always pair them with things from Michigan, and it's been an exceptional ride. We were just nominated as one of the semi-finalists for James Beard Foundation Best New Restaurants in the Country, and we also just last week opened a tiki bar in the basement of the restaurant here. So things have been going excellent. We're very busy. We're very grateful to be busy, and it's been an amazing ride so far.
1 year, 12 days, and you are already a semi-finalist. So let me start with this question. Can you describe the simplest roadmap to become a James Beard Award semifinalist? If someone is starting today and they this is like their goal, what would you advise them to do? What would be the milestones they have to go after?
So I would say invest in your community. Build something in your community. Build a cuisine with the people from your community and with the food that is produced in your community for your community. And then I would say do that at a very high standard, because that's what we did here. I can't speak to anybody else's roadmap, but we got a group of people that were here now. We shared a common goal and we supported each other in that goal. We held each other accountable to that goal. We adhered to that goal, and we did it all while working within the community, working with products that are right from where the restaurant is. And that's been our path.
Do you believe building a community is more important than building social media presence?
Say that again?
Do you believe that building a community is more important than social media presence, or building that, followers base that everyone is crazy about these days?
Absolutely. I think building a community is at the forefront of everything. The community is society, right? So social media will follow. Absolutely. If you don't have the story and the content and the soul and the substance, what's the social media worth, right? So building a community for us is like, that's what we were going to do anyways. That's what we set out to do. All the other stuff that came after, it's kind of like reassurance or gratification that what we were doing in the first place was right.
Amazing. And you just mentioned that, like, early in your career, you begged the chefs so that he would let you in. So if you could pass just like one lesson you learned early in your career, what would that be? Maybe something you learned from a chef or from a mentor, or, I don't know, someone that you really respect in this industry.
So I would say spend as much time working in the best kitchens as possible. Now I think staging is still a thing, but now you get paid for it. It's pretty incredible. Ask as many chefs at restaurants that you admire, can I please come spend a day with you? Can I please learn from you? There's nothing like firsthand experience. So get as many reps as you can in as many good places with as many good people. That would be my advice.
That's a great advice. Let me get back to the James Beard semi-finalist nomination, since this is like very recent. Was having that James Beard tag, you've announced it on social media and the restaurant social media as well. Does it make it easier to recruit professional talent, or does it make it more challenging because of the expectations? Did that change anything?
I think that's a great question. I think having the James Beard nomination, anytime you have some sort of national recognition, I think it does make you a little bit more of a target, and it does bring more people and more awareness to what you're doing. But the flip side, as you mentioned, the way we see it, there's a lot of expectation with that. But the way we see it is there's a lot of responsibility with that. We want to do what we say and say what we do. If we are going to really go for this award to be one of the best 30 new restaurants in the country, which we have all agreed internally to do, we had a meeting about that, then we want to adhere to the principles that make you one of the best 30 new places in the country to work at. So it's kind of
You said you had a meeting about that and you agreed. I learn more about this.
Yes, so this kitchen here, we make a lot of decisions together. It's not Chef Joe's menu, it's not Chef Joe's directive, because Chef Joe can't do every job, right? I also need Chef Ronnie and Chef Lily and Chef Dario. Everybody needs to be bought in. So we had a very serious meeting. We celebrated for a minute. We said, this is wonderful, this is exciting. And then I said, what do you guys want to do now? Do you want to pursue this thing? Because the reward for hard work in this moment is more hard work. Do we want to be just happy that we were invited to the party, or do we want to try to win the whole thing? And the answer was overwhelmingly and resoundingly that we want to be our best selves and represent Michigan, represent Ann Arbor. And we saw that as a great responsibility, but a great honor. So we are pressing on.
Amazing. And now, since we're talking about recruitment, talking about team members, with the rise of AI these days, and everyone is using those tools to, sort out all the resumes and other applications. If a candidate walks in Echelon with a resume in hand, a printed resume, do they still have a chance to, be hired, to be interviewed at least?
That's a great question. I'm a little old school, obviously. I love it.
That's good.
When somebody has the dedication, the gumption, the confidence, the determination to walk into the restaurant and say, hey, I'm looking for a job. Here's my resume. It's a tangible moment for me. I'm here all the time. So if I get to meet somebody, shake their hand, and they're willing to do that uncomfortable thing, absolutely. I see that as that kind of puts them at the front of the line, quite frankly.
Great. And it's great to know, by the way. This is really good. Then can I ask you, what what could possibly impress you? What could someone do to impress Chef Joe on their first day, first interview? How can they impress you? Yes.
So I think being humble and showing willingness to learn. I think every single kitchen in the world is a different place, utilizing different techniques, creating different food. A day that you don't learn something as a chef is a very bad day, and a day you're probably not paying attention. But if someone's willing to come in and show a passion for learning and growing, that's the first thing I'm looking for.
Amazing. So it's the passion for learning. This is the thing that gets people hired.
I
Or
think
get
so.
them like to be with you on your team.
The passion to learn and to grow within these four walls and within this career as a whole.
Now let me ask you the opposite question. What is the one thing that a candidate could say or do in an interview that makes you immediately decide not to hire them regardless of talent?
It's a good question too. I would say when someone acts like they know everything, or they are trying to constantly one up, or just seem like they know everything, that's a little bit of a red flag for me, because I think walking into every situation as an opportunity to learn it's not only appropriate, but it just makes sense, especially when you're walking into something new. It's something you don't know. So how could you be expected to know everything about what we do here?
Where do you think it's coming from, this overconfidence that like new chefs are showing these days?
I don't think it comes from a bad place. I think it comes from a place of wanting to perform or wanting to be viewed as an expert. In this instance, wanting to be given the upper hand to be hired. I think it comes from a desire to succeed.
Makes total sense. And now, since we're talking about this overconfidence, by the way, sometimes, I mean, from different interviews, some chefs say this is coming from social media because it's building this arrogance. When someone, for example, is a new chef, but they have, I don't know, 100,000 followers on TikTok or Instagram, and they walk in a kitchen and they expect to be treated like stars. So here I have to say, do you agree or disagree? And what's your take on social media from a chef's perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very situational. I don't totally agree. Social media has equally benefited and harmed the industry from my standpoint. The ability to share information, the ability to learn new techniques and ingredients and see the world from your computer is incredible. I can gain great inspiration from following certain chefs on Instagram. At the same time, there's such a spread of information and data that it's an easy place to learn the wrong things or incorrect things. So for me, I have to be selective.
What about your social media? I noticed that Echelon's social media and your social media, it's good and it shows who you are, and it's clear if someone does some online search that there is, as you mentioned, the community is there. But I don't see you as someone going crazy after building a followers base.
No, so for me,
And still you were very successful that within a year and 12 days you were nominated. So
sure.
I want to understand how that happened without this social media boost.
So I think social media, I leave that to the experts, so to speak. And I am not a social media expert. I do love to celebrate what we do in the restaurant on my personal space. I spend so much time here in the kitchen that I kind of don't have a lot of time to curate the social media as good as I could. But I also think
it's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job, and the work spent in the kitchen does lend itself to genuine content. So when people look at my Instagram, I think they're really seeing who I am as a person.
Back to TikTok chefs, since now we're talking about social media. Do they make your life more, harder in the kitchen because of the expectations, because of the whole TV food shows and, what social media brings to this industry? Have you faced any situation like that?
I think it creates a notion or an ideal in some people's minds. A lot of the shows are very dramatic and you see a lot of yelling and shouting. So I think it creates a perception. Our kitchen is not like that. We are so busy and what we do is so technically grounded that if anybody was running around screaming and shouting, it wouldn't work. We need to be composed and calm. And quite frankly, we need to love what we do. If people were coming here just for a paycheck, it would be too hard, in my opinion. You really have to love this. And I don't think anybody would love drama or screaming. So that's one take. But by and large, I think food is entertainment. It's not a bad thing. It's entertaining in the very least.
Can you name 3 chefs you follow on social media and you advise others to follow as well?
Okay, this is a good question. So if I was going to pick 3 right now for 3 different reasons, there is a chef called the Forager Chef who is very cool. He forages and shows you all different kinds of natural growing, and they might be invasive species, they might be native species, all throughout the Midwest, how to locate them, how to identify them, how to harvest them, and how to cook them. Really, really cool. He also branches out and does other unique ingredients. So I think that's a good one. I like Ron McKinley because he uses a lot of really old school techniques in a modern way. And I see some of those techniques being lost a little bit, and he brings it to light in like such a practical and beautiful way. And then I think if you want to see somebody who's like really making an impact in their community and being like what it means to be a chef today, it's not just cooking, it's building people, it's building a community, it's supporting others, it's growing other chefs, it's getting involved in your community. Gavin Kaysen, I think, is a really great example of that out of Minnesota. If you want to see 3 people that are really impacting their own community in their own way, I would be very remiss not to mention some people from Michigan. So check out Mamba Hamisi, check out Jihai Kim, and check out John Yelnick from Ladder 4. Those are 3 people from the area here that have made a significant impact on their own communities that has reverberated nationally.
Thank you. And we will make sure, by the way, to add all the links. So
Great.
This is a great list. Thanks for sharing these.
My
May
pleasure.
I ask you about like the one sign a restaurant is failing? I know we talked about success, but you've been to many restaurants, you've worked in many different countries and cities. What is the one sign that tells you something is wrong and this place is failing?
I would say I wonder personally sometimes if I see restaurants that are constantly hiring for marquee positions like general manager, sous chef. If you're constantly hiring, that tells me someone's not there long enough to make an impact.
That's good. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me now wrap up this conversation with a quick fire round, if you don't mind. Just like a few questions, and I want like 1-2 words for the answer, just like very quickly. Your favorite late night spot in Michigan?
Okay. So Ramadan started yesterday. We have the largest Arabic speaking community outside of the Middle East in Metro Detroit. So we have several shawarma shops all over the place. My favorite right now, Corn on the Corner in Dearborn.
Okay, these are very good options. Best meal you've ever eaten that you didn't cook?
Tasting menu from Ryan Pfeiffer at Blackbird circa 2018, right before the shutdown of COVID.
You still even remember the date. It means it's something you've never forgotten. That's good.
So
Coffee or
memorable.
espresso?
Coffee black.
Okay. One spice that is underrated?
Long pepper.
Music in the kitchen, yes or no, at Echelon?
Only on Sundays.
What about the rest of the week?
Rest of the week, it's focused. It's time to get locked in. Sunday morning prep, music, rotating DJ in the kitchen, good to go.
Okay. Most overrated food trend right now?
Man, I thought the butter plates food trend was kind of silly.
Okay. And your cooking style in exactly 3 words? That's the last one.
Nuanced, inclusive, and Michigan.
Amazing. Chef Joe, thank you so much for these. Thanks for sharing those insights, the links, the stories, and the roadmap. And all the best of luck for the James Beard Award. Hope to see you on the final list, not just the semi-finalist. So thank you so much for this. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure.